Hello everyone, happy Thursday night to everybody. My name is Nate, alongside my good friend Omid. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Loud Crowd and Casa Crew? How y'all doing? Hope you're all having a nice Thursday night, and hope you're all excited for tomorrow because TGIF.
Actually TGIF, considering that we actually have brand new Loud House episodes that are the premiere of season 6 to say. So we should all be excited
Yes.
about this because season 6 is here. We were definitely waiting for it for so long, and now it's premiering tomorrow, which is going to be quite exciting to say.
Oh, I know I am. Brand new season, brand new potential, brand new episodes, just brand new everything.
Yeah.
In terms of what we got in the Loud House right now.
So yeah, Friday's going to be quite fun, but I want to catch up, Omid. How has your week been so far?
It's kind of the same old, same old. I'm pretty much counting down the days until like Fridays and all that stuff. So
Fridays are just really fun for us, considering that we have, the new Loud House episodes, obviously, but we also do have brand new episodes of, well, what I'm wearing right now, Big City Greens.
yes,
And of
my
course, the Ghost and
recommendation,
Molly
Loud
McGee,
Crowd.
by the way, which,
Let's
is
go.
both awesome shows. But if you remember, next week is going to be quite exciting, considering two other Disney Channel shows are also premiering next week. So,
Yes.
yeah, we can't wait for that, too.
We're transitioning from like wacky slice of life Disney shows to epic story driven shows next week.
Yeah, I know, and I know a lot of you Amphibia Owl House fans got a lot to say about what's been happening this week. But to say the least, um, we just can't wait to see how these new episodes are going to be next week. But the other thing too is I'm gonna miss Big City Greens. They actually had some really awesome episodes. So like Tilly, Remy, and Cricket, for example. I'm gonna miss them. Plus the same thing goes with it, Molly and Scratch as well. But yeah.
Oh, Miss Gloria, my beloved Gloria.
Oh my god. I swear to God, like Omid and Gloria, I swear to God, like every time we always have chats, Omid and Gloria
until we
has
meet.
always been a thing. I don't understand, Omid. Someone's got to stop that sometimes.
Never.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. So yeah, you know what? I think we're all catching up. I mean, it's interesting how my week has been, considering that my help is on vacation right now. She's gonna be coming back next week, but all the responsibilities are on me, and I was busy doing a lot of things like accommodating to others engineers, accommodating to this job, to that job. So I'm busy myself, but I'm happy that I actually have. There's been like busy times, and then also been like relaxation times. So like I would have like a couple hours of me just going around all over the place doing stuff, and then like after that, I literally don't have anything to do, so I just watch TV while something else pops up. So yeah, it's kind of like a roller coaster. So like you'll be busy one time, then you'll be really slow next time. So it's an interesting job that I got into, but I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now. Plus, it pays well. So
yeah, man, I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, and I mean, right now the campus is currently closed, but at the moment, if things open up, I could probably give you a tour and where I work. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Now, enough small talk. We'll talk more on Sunday if we have our loud Casa talks. But anyways, let's head over to the episode reviews. This is going to be quite a short one because we have 4 episodes to review, which is pretty much the season finale episodes. We've been waiting so long to actually review the first 2 episodes, so you know what? Let's get straight to it. These 2 episodes premiered during these 2 episodes premiere on January 16th. Yeah, we waited like 3 months. Oh, it's like 2 months for us to actually review this episode. This happened literally before the playoff game against the Cowboys and the Niners. So it's like, oh, cool. A little appreciation for the Loud House fans before we watch the big game. And by the way, go Niners, because they end up winning that game.
Yeah, but we all know what happened a couple games after.
Oh, shut up. I know, Rams. Anyways, the NFL season's over. Let's go talk about Appetite for Destruction. All right, so synopsis here says, when Lily starts misbehaving at home, mom and dad thinks her new preschool friends might be the cause. All right, so the episode begins off with Lynn Sr. getting a lot of cheese from his pen pal in Italy. In fact, it got so crazy that he started putting Parmesan throughout his menu. So the thing is that this whole first part of the episode kind of foreshadows what's going to be happening later on. How do you like this whole foreshadowing part for this beginning of the episode?
I thought they took the foreshadowing in a creative sort of direction. Sure, it was a bit cheesy, but then when you see a lot of cheese, and especially from Italy, you think to yourself, this must be really good for Lynn Sr. and his business. Like, I can imagine him using all this cheese to make some sort of like pizza or something like that. But no, it actually turns out that he was using it for a certain to build his own Lynn Senior cheese statue, which gets ruined by a certain Loud that
Hmm.
we will be touching upon right now, who has a main role in this episode.
My thing is that when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, cool, a lot of cheese." But the craziness of this part is the fact that like kept on rolling. That like even the staff was like just continuing to put on cheese more. So I was like, "This is kind of an obsession." And the other thing too is like no
Yeah.
one complained. Like no one complained. Like all the customers are okay with this. All the staff were okay with this. So Lynn Senior was pretty much like saying like before the cheese rots, let's just give out all the cheese to pretty much every dish, and it just shows like that from the first scene right there. So I'm guessing cheese is the main story when it comes to this episode. but yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how the foreshadowing goes because yeah, later on as we talk more about this episode for Appetite for Destruction, you get to understand why this becomes a big thing. So now we look at Lily, where she would have fun with the cheese, but at the same time have this little mean attitude. In fact, she would have this whole tantrum throughout the whole entire episode, and she was supposed to be the sweet one to the rest of the siblings. Dismayed. I love
Oh
that part,
god,
by
I
the way.
loved it.
I love that part, by the way.
Me too. Me too.
Explain your thoughts when you saw Lily start to act all, grumpy like this.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw Lily like this, I was thinking to myself, okay, that can't be good for the Loud parents. Okay, come on, like we've seen Lily before. She's supposed to be better than this. She's sweeter than this. Come
She's,
on. Have you seen Dream of Lily Dream? Have you all seen Dream
she's
of
a
Lily
baby.
Dream?
I mean, first off, she's a baby, but the other thing too is like, she's like preschooler. Maybe she's just going through her hard times, and maybe she's just having her angry attitude. But you never expected her to see her like this, where she's like threatening. She's like literally on top of a cheese wheel, like growling at Rita. And then at the same time here in this scene, for example, where like Lily just wanted to get a snack, and the parents had to say, "Hey, go back to your crib." I don't know how she ended up actually getting out of her crib and trying to get a snack. And I love the fact that like in her crib she was like, "Mine, snack now," and I'm like, "Oh my god, what happened to our little baby Lily here?"
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I feel bad for the Loud parents. Like even when they try to be like at their most, they're trying to be at their most firm and strict to Lily. Lily somehow manages to like pretty much be the bigger Loud here. Like pretty much wins the battle in a sense.
Yeah, but then again, like she's a baby, but I remember like if you're a baby, I understand like sometimes you may not punish your baby just because she starts to get all angry like that. But I think it's like this is the time where you actually have to say, "Hey, stop doing this and that," so that she can actually get punished or something. But still, yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. It was just really interesting to see Lily like this. So yeah, very angry Lily. Oh my god. So Rita and Lynn Sr. would start figuring out the source of her bad attitude in school, suspecting someone in her class is the reason. So they set out a spy, Lenny, to see who's been missing with Lily, to the dismay that Lenny loves to be in preschool. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, they have a trampoline. Explain your thoughts on the kids that were making Lily bad.
Yeah, like pretty much like Lenny, I was sort of like seeing who would be the bad kid, and it turns out it's not just one bad kid. There's actually multiple bad influences on Lily, and that pretty much happens when you're in school and you meet someone who turns out to pretty much show you the ropes, teach you the ropes, and not the good kind of ropes either. We've all been through this phase in school where we befriend someone, they turn out to be troublemakers, so they negatively influence us. I feel like that's what Lily is going through, but it's the earliest stage of it's pretty much the earliest stage for her going through that because usually that happens when you're teenagers, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I mean, like, have you ever experienced like, preschoolers start to act and behave like this? I mean, okay, first off, yeah, it's her first time going to school, so she probably would be influenced by like other kids that, treat others so badly. So I'm guessing she just started to friend so many little kids, so many other kids that she started to have this bad attitude to start like I don't know what in this scene here destroy the
Mhm.
preschool like start bullying people around. So it's like maybe, yeah, I don't know what Lily's doing, but it is kind of true that there's a lot of kids in Lily's class that is starting to be a bad influence. But that was
Yeah.
what I was thinking. That was what I was thinking. But then that was
Could
what I was
be.
thinking when you first see the scenes here. It's like, Lily, why would you do this to like all these little kids? They're like you're supposed to be like your next, you're like your future friends to say.
This
But
is not the
yeah,
sweet instant Lily we
she's not the
know. This is
sweet
something
innocent
else.
Lily that we know anymore. It's like, yeah, the baby phase is gone. Now she's just an evil brat.
Oh god, it's pretty much. Is she becoming like the second Lola? No, no, no.
I hope not. Hopefully she's not going to be another Lola.
Because I would imagine this
Also,
is what Lola, how Lola would behave when she was like Lily's age.
yeah, you know what? I have to look back at Lola when she was in preschool. Maybe she was acting
I
like
love
this.
Lola. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be too far fetched if this is how Lola acted when she was in preschool.
Now, here's the thing. Lenny is back in preschool, which, by the way, is a little callback toward an episode in season 5. Remember Schooled when
Yes,
Lenny was back
school
in preschool? Yeah. So apparently she's still a student in preschool. How'd you like this callback where Lenny went back to preschool?
loved it. I just loved that little callback. It was just it was just so endearing. Like Lenny, like we've seen how Lenny fits into this preschool environment. I'm just like, yeah, given Lenny's character, she would blend well in that type of environment.
Mm.
And the episode knows it, and they know, like the show knows to bring back that gag from school. So I really do love that little touch there.
I swear to God, like we should have like more episodes where Lenny goes back to like preschool, for example. Maybe there's will be like one future episode coming up where Lenny's like, "Man, I want to just stay in preschool. Maybe I can like hide away, like hide away from going to high school, then actually just be in preschool this whole time."
Oh god, is it gonna be like that? My Life as a Teenage Robot episode where Jenny is in kindergarten, that sort of thing.
Maybe. Oh, is that the episode? I love that episode, by the way.
That episode, yeah.
It's just
Except
so
Lenny will love it
stupid.
all the way through. No, but
I
I
think
would imagine it's like Lenny would say,
I
"Oh my
mean,
god,"
in that
Lenny would say,
episode, in that
"This."
episode, Jenny didn't want to be in high school, and then she was like begging to be in preschool.
Yeah, I think that's what Lenny will do. Like, there's gonna be like an episode like built around that, where like Lenny wants to go to preschool, and then Lenny at one point will say, "This is totes stupid," and then that's when the preschools go, "She said the F
Oh my
word."
god, that was a great episode, by the way. By the way, I miss Teenage Robot. So if y'all are fans of Teenage Robot,
Yeah,
comment on
I would
the.
imagine the Loud House would have their own take on an episode like that.
I would, maybe. Let's see if they actually can do that with Lenny. I think it could happen. Just watch. It's an
Yeah.
idea, but that's an idea, by the way. Loud crowd or loud crew, if you can do that. Because of the bad kids, Rita Lynn Senior would look for other kids that they can make her sweet again, a sweet kid again. So they would end up with a family's perfect kid for a play date, but that also ended up bad since Lily would fight with Aiden, the kid that was the name of the name of the kid. How'd you like this plan from the parents? That it turned out to be really bad at the end.
Something about Aiden sort of reminds me of a cross of Richie Rich and Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. I don't know. Maybe
What?
that's his name, but
What?
maybe like
Is
the
it just
way
because of the
he's.
shorts or something? Is it just because like I get it? He talks too, like really
Yeah,
talks well. Is he trying to be like Stewie Griffin? Is that what you're trying to say?
uh, like a more high pitched Stewie Griffin. But yeah, you do
He
get
also
what I
had that.
mean.
He also had that like European like the English accent too. It's like Lily's a bad influence. That's what I've been hearing. Yeah, I heard that from him, and I'm like, man, this kid actually can learn stuff, you know?
Yeah, he can. Like, he's actually quite a genius for his age. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised about this. It was like, But then again, even with the prestigious kid that Lynn and Rita ended up getting, Lily still started out to be a disaster too, considering that she still was a bad influence. I don't think it was Aiden's fault for this part. It was just more of like Lily just continuing to just become a destruction. So it's just like, you know, messing up the whole entire room while Aiden is just watching and just trying to stop her. I was thinking that whole entire scene was just like Aiden's trying to be nice, but Lily's still trying to be like a bad girl and does all this to mess the room up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly, like the only character, the only person I know who would be a bad influence to Lily is Lily. Lily's her own bad influence.
Maybe, yeah. But then there's also people that could also be her bad influence. Say, for example, like remember earlier in the episode where like Lynn was teaching Lily how to burp. So maybe Lynn could have been a
Lynn.
bad influence to her.
All eyes on Lynn. Like I like how when Lily burped it, then the other loud siblings kind of like gave a look at Lynn, and then she belched. She was like, "Okay, that was me." It's like that was I love that part.
See, I was like, yeah, maybe it's Lynn's fault, but it wasn't really focused on Lynn. It's all about Lily. Speaking of this part here, where we get to see Lily, well, we get to see the parents try to like wean Lily. We do get to see like a little what was it, fast forward to the future where we get to see a teenage Lily. How'd you feel about the teenager Lily here?
Yeah, Loud House fan artist. There you go. Like Loud House just gave you material to work with. Go get them. Go have at it.
So this is canon, right? We're just gonna put this as a base model for whenever Lily goes to like high school, for example.
Yeah, this is definitely what Lily will look like in her teenage years. I guarantee you that. Punk
It's just
rock Lily.
it's a punk rock Lily, but then when you also see her like actually be nice, she still has the same haircut too. So it's like, so you're still a punk person, but really nicer this time. Yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, like this could be good for like a Loud House future episode. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
time skip. We see
If
Lily
they could
like
ever
this.
do, if they ever could do a time skip episode, I mean, we have seen time skip episodes before. Look at Big City; they did have a time skip episode where we get to see back at was it Bill's past. Maybe we can have like maybe we can have an episode where we get to see like them in the future. Maybe see Lincoln like as an adult or like Lily as a teenager to say, you know, something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Yeah, but it was just shocking to see that. I'm guessing it's just because I understand Lynn and Rita's like concern when it comes to Lily trying to not not be a bad influence and become a bad girl like she'll be in the future. To say, I mean, she's about to destroy a house. Like, what's going on with that?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know
So
what?
so
It
yeah.
turns out that she's not the only character in an episode we'll be talking about tonight who is planning to destroy a house. We're going to touch upon that later on.
But we go on later. But still, like I said, teenage Lily. That was just something that beholden me. But it was just something that for the future. Hopefully, we get to see this model of Lily again. All right. So after all these have failed, the parents would still try to figure out what's making her, angry. But they would find out the source of Lily's bad attitude was pretty much indigestion from the cheese. See the foreshadowing from what happened earlier in the episode. Seems too much cheese is bad for you. Because of this, Lynn would provide fiber muffins that would clear her system, and soon she became the sweet Lily we know and love again. So how'd you like this whole ending where we get to see Lily as a nice girl again?
Um, like I like how there's like a certain twist where it's like it wasn't any of the kids at all that made Lily like this. It
Mm-hmm.
turns out that the biggest that the negative influence of Lily was not a person, but it was a food product. It turns out that cheese was a bad influence on Lily.
Yeah, I
Plot
was surprised.
twist.
Yeah, it was a plot twist too. So it was something that I never expected to actually see. Where like in the beginning of the episode, you get to see like, oh, cheese, cool. But then you didn't expect to actually see like the cheese becoming a big thing in the end. So it was like, oh, okay, so it makes sense why some kids don't like cheese just because of indigestion and stuff like that. So I love the whole solution here because it's like now it's I understand this is mostly Lynn and Rita's episode, but it was a kind of an adventure just seeing like how they tried to figure out why Lily's a bad influence by just buying in her school, trying to get her a good kid for Lily to become nice. But in the end, when they figured out that it was the indigestion that she ended up getting from the cheese, it's was a pretty straight, simple answer for just trying to just drain her system, and she ended up being the nice kid again. So it's like, okay, cool, really nice, like of an adventure that we actually ended up getting in the episode, which turned out to completely make a good episode to say. Don't you agree?
Yeah, honestly, like I really do like how now Lily did get on my personal nerves at times with her attitude, but then it turns out at the end pretty much clear things up again where it's like, okay, well, now we know never feed a preschooler cheese, okay? Never feed a baby cheese, just saying. There's a
Never
lesson
feed
to
a
be
baby.
learned.
Okay, but you said never feed a baby cheese, but you know what happened in the end, also, right? Apparently, Lenny also had the same problem. So, how'd you like Lenny?
Yeah.
How do you like Lenny in the end? You said babe, don't give babies cheese, but how about Lenny? She ended up still getting constipated too.
Lenny technically is a baby in a teenager's body.
I
So
guess, but I,
when you
I
think about
remember
it that
like
way.
I remember in the like last part where she started to get all cranky too. She started to actually like bash on Lily, say like, "Oh, thanks a lot, Lily. Now I have to draw something better." And then she started getting all constipated. So it's like, yeah,
It was
now we understand why Lenny's also getting angry too.
all Letty wanted was to draw a horsey. Come on. She just wanted to draw a horsey. But then Lily drew it first.
So that's the whole lesson of the episode, right? Don't eat a lot of cheese.
Yes. Don't don't eat don't eat a lot of cheese, and also um don't steal Lenny's ideas.
I guess that's the moral ending of this. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Say cheese.
Okay. I got nothing else to bring up from this episode. So, I mean, how would you rate Appetite for Destruction?
I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Like I would say it's a good but not great Lily episode. Like definitely the best Lily episode, hands down, is Dream a Lily Dream. But like even though Lily got on my nerves at times with her attitude, like I said, I do like how Rita and Lynn Sr. do try their best to control Lily. Like no matter how much they try, it's just you can't really it's like trying to win a fight against a rabid dog. You try, but it's kind of impossible to do unless you find a solution. And thankfully, they found a solution. It's quite a cheesy solution, but still a
Wow.
solution regardless. And it turns out that muffins really do help the indigestion with the cheese and stuff like that. So that's good. And also, Lenny in this is spot on. Lenny is hilarious in this, of course. Especially when she goes back to preschool, tries to like spy on Lily. Also, Lenny with the trampoline. Okay, I want to see Lenny jump on the trampoline again. Lenny going back to preschool was just wholesome and so funny. Yeah, Lenny really does steal the show.
Yeah, but besides that, I just think this episode was definitely more of it's not really bore on Lily, it was more towards Lynn Sr. and Rita because they had a problem with their baby. And yeah, you may also tend to be a Lily episode, but we have not seen Lily episodes in so long. When is the last time we actually seen one? That would
Dream
be
a Lily
Dream of
Dream.
Lily Dream. Yeah. But we have to see more of like who Lily is because she is grown up. She has to have her own episodes. And yes, we get to see like her and her bad attitude because babies can tend to become can tend to become bad. I mean, I don't have a kid, but probably families out there who have seen babies, they start to get all cranky and fussy. So obviously, for a parent's point of view, you get to see Rita and Lynn try their best to take care of the problem. Yes, they had to bring Lenny in, which I think is a sweet tidbit to actually have Lenny in because you get to see Lenny back at preschool, start to be all fun again, start to be like the hilarious Lenny that we always love and always love. So and then like yeah, the ending was kind of like I did like the whole adventure of the episode where it's like, oh, why are we talking about cheese at the beginning? And then you totally see it at the end. It's like, oh, cheese backs up your system, or cheese totally blocks your plumbing. So that then the solution comes out, then they ended up fixing it. So I thinking this was actually structured well. And I actually did love how this was for how Lynn Sr. and Rita tried their best to get Lily, to behave once again as a nice girl. So I liked how the adventure goes. Yeah, you do have a problem. It is something where Rita and Lynn need to try to fix for Lily, especially for her if she wants to grow up as a sweet girl, like that future part where she ended up getting awards. Oh, and yeah, she apparently was so nice. She ended up buying pots and pans for her dad. um, I think I like this episode quite a lot. I think this was structured pretty well, cleverly, like cleverly run episode. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yes, Lily can get a little bit annoying, but at the end, it was still a great episode. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating for Appetite for Destruction.
Say cheese.
Oh God. All right, so let's head over to our next episode that also came out on January 16th, which is also okay, January 16th. It's called Frame on You. And this episode, the synopsis here says, when Rusty is wrongfully suspended, the Action News team leaps in to clear his name. So the episode would begin with the Action News team finding out the suspect of the stink bomb incident that happened during a dance. Turned out to be, well, none other than their colleague, Rusty. Yeah, so I think first off, when I heard about that, I thought it was going to be a Rusty episode. So I was like, wait, we can finally have a Rusty episode? We have a Zach episode and a Liam episode. How about Rusty? You never had one yet, right?
Yeah, it turns out it's not about Rusty. More so, it's, about the episode helping Rusty.
I was just saying, like, when I first heard about it, I was like, are we going to finally have a Rusty episode where we get to see, like, his life or something like that? But no, it turned out to be just the squad trying their best to, like, clear Rusty's name. Yeah. Principal Ramirez was suspended for a week, even if he tried to state his innocence. But trusting his words, the whole squad would try to help him in a situation. So how did you like this whole episode? How this episode began, where Rusty gets framed, and then Lincoln and the squad tried their best to like make sure Rusty is innocent.
Frame on You. Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. This episode would be much better titled as "Who Framed Rusty Spokes."
Yeah, yes, but I think you'll probably ask Disney about that. They would probably hate you for that.
I don't care. Like, honestly, nowadays, less said about that certain company, the better. But anyways, so yeah, it turns out that Rusty is framed, and pretty much the Action 5 News team tries to help clear his name. I really do like how this is pretty much another Action 5 News mystery episode. Remember Kernel of Truth? It turns out the Action 5 News team is back at it again to solve another mystery, but this time it's them trying to help out a friend instead of pretty much solving a mystery revolving around certain snacks.
Mm-hmm. See, my thing is that in this episode, I was just shocked with the fact. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, Rusty could look. It's one of the best friends of Lincoln's squad. Lincoln is absolutely like terrified, petrified the fact that Rusty ended up being guilty, or pretty much being guilty without proven innocence. So, what I love about how even if like one friend gets in trouble, I mean, we've seen this a lot where we get to see, like, say for example in Zack Attack, where Zack tries to prove that there's aliens, and Lincoln and the squad believed him to say, just try their best to like help him out in the situation. There's a part where Liam had a problem with the farm, and what was it, farm to stable. So Lincoln and the squad still tried to help him out when it comes to the farm situation. In this one, Rusty's framed, and Lincoln and the squad still tried their best to help Rusty out when it comes to what happened when he was framed. So to say the least, the squad really does like. I have a feeling like throughout the season 5, like Lincoln and the squad has mostly been the main focus, and it's not all about Lincoln. It's mostly on the squad, and the fact that we keep on seeing that Lincoln continues to be a better person, and the fact that their friends is also being like a very helpful group, especially when like one person goes down, they try to help each other up. And I think that's like one awesome lesson to hear from like what Lincoln squad is doing. So yeah, I mean, that's what I got from this. It was pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, how much did you like Lincoln squad as they continue to support each other? I mean, like that's pretty much my explanation. How about you?
Yeah, it's pretty much a continuation of Lincoln's group of friends helping out one another. Like we've seen Lincoln's friends, of course, going out of the way to help Lincoln several times. Take a look at Schooled, for example, as well as the other examples you just mentioned. And of course, also there's one also with the gang trying to help Stella find the music box as well. That's also another one. Like in Tales of Woe.
Yeah, it just tells you like how supportive the friend group is. Like they really do care for each other when it comes to them being in trouble, to say.
Yeah, that pretty much emphasizes how real the chemistry is between the squad.
And the squad definitely really do back up each other and everything. And I thought that was like, when you first see that, it just tells you like, wow, this friend group can never like get broken, to say.
Yeah, nothing can tear them apart, regardless of what Lincoln's fears were in particular season 4 episode where they go on the field trip.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out Lynn was wrong all along. That friend group will never separate.
So what they would do first is try to interview the witnesses that were there in the dance. So Liam and Zach would talk to the PE coach. Stella would talk to Paige, which, by the way, we haven't heard Paige in forever.
Yeah.
Call back, continuation. What's that?
Ellis for love.
Yeah.
Ellis for love.
So I'm guessing Lincoln definitely never had a crush on Paige. Lincoln and Clyde would talk to Chandler, to which all of them would have no evidence. So leading them to think more and more that Rusty did do it. So explain your thoughts throughout this part of the episode where they try to interview people.
Yeah, I really do like how like each of the suspects, each of the witnesses were all different characters from each other. Like you got the PE coach, you got the girl, and you got the jock, you got the bully. Pretty much giving out their statements as witnesses to the crime. Now, of course, Liam and Zach witnessed pretty much interviewing the PE coach was pretty funny, like especially with the PE coach with the skepticals.
Something about glasses. Something about
glasses.
glasses. There's a reason why that she was innocent, because she didn't wear her glasses or something.
Like Lincoln and Clyde talking to Chandler does make sense when you consider that, well, it's Chandler. Of course
it is. I mean, Chandler's supposed to be the bully. I mean, he never really improved ever since ever since Broadcast Blues. He's still the same old bully.
And of course, the best one of them all, like the best part of this whole thing, Stella interrogating Paige. Stella interviewing Paige is the best part of this entire episode. I just loved it. Where like the animators really did nail Stella's character animation to a T. Like the movements, the facial expressions, and like pretty much her interviewing skills. Like, oh my god, like Stella is such a girl boss in this part. I just loved it.
Okay, but the thing is that, obviously in this part here, yeah, we get to see Stella go into the girls' bathroom, so obviously she would be the only one there.
Like the way she kicks the bathroom door,
yeah,
the way she points at
yeah,
Paige.
You're right. She kind of like respects it like a boss. But here's the other thing too: we have never heard of Paige in forever, and actually she does pop up again. I'm like, wow, it's been forever, Paige, since season 2 of The Loud House. That was what took you 3 seasons to come back.
Oh my god, imagine this whole image like taken out of context, and then like Stella pretty much storming in.
I think too many of you all on Twitter were already putting a lot of memes with Stella and Paige throughout this whole scene.
Like Stella confronting Paige as to like, why did you reject Lincoln? Why did you accept his love letter?
Oh my god. See, I don't know what y'all did. I love the fact that like some of the fandom remembers season 2 and they're like, hey, why don't we talk about Lincoln? And like, say for example, out of context, they talk about Lincoln because didn't you like him or something like that? Yeah, it's 3 seasons ago. It's all yours, Stella. Oh, right. Please do that.
Yeah, I think like Stella in the spotlight is trying to talk to Paige and be like, you had your chance with Lincoln, now he's mine.
Oh my god. I don't know how the end game will go, but we'll see. We have another season to watch.
He's neither one of yours. Ronnigan for life.
Okay. But yeah, besides the whole fact that they were trying to interview, all the witnesses out there that was on the dance, Rusty still tried to hide his own identity. And how does he do it? By becoming a substitute teacher. How'd you like Rusty as a substitute teacher while he tries to hide his identity?
I thought Rusty as a substitute teacher was pretty fine. Like, pretty funny. Not the most laugh out loud thing I've seen, but still, though, like the way Rusty disguised herself as a substitute. I think the best part about this was pretty much everyone else's reaction to the disguise, especially like Principal Ramirez, pretty much saying, "What are you doing here? You're a substitute teacher." The class I was pretty much laughing, and this is coming from someone who is getting really, and I mean really, I've gotten really tired of characters falling for obvious disguises. But here,
looking back at all the Casa Grandes that we've reviewed in the last couple of weeks,
I feel that here it strangely kind of works. It strangely does kind of work when you see the fact how well
you hide the orange hair, most of the orange hair.
When you see how well constructed. When you see how well constructed that Rusty's disguise really is, yeah, I can understand why Principal Ramirez would fall for it.
Yeah, but yeah, out of all people, like everybody fell for it that he ended up actually getting a gig as a prostitute teacher. So I'm like, is your eyes that blind? I'm guessing the Loud House people are smarter than the Casa Grande's crew because apparently they cannot even figure out who's in this. It's so obvious who's in disguise, yet they blatantly just say, "Hey, it's Laird, who's very tall and doesn't have orange hair." It's yeah. Albeit has this whole trigger thing of just the disguise stuff, and then yeah, it just I think like this whole disguise where Rusty just tries to be a substitute teacher, it actually does work out because he ended up like teaching a class, he ended up like doing a test to kids, and like I said, like even if she's like a little kid, he still pulls off the look pretty well. I don't know what, but it feels like Rusty could be like a drag person. Like he'll dress up in drag and he'll end up becoming fabulous. Maybe that could be his future.
Drag Queen
I
Rusty.
mean,
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
have you seen the previous times where he dressed up as a girl? Apparently, it works. Remember
Broadcast Blues.
Broadcast Blues?
Broadcast
Yeah,
Blues.
he dressed
I'm
up
just
as a
like,
girl, not Stella, who was a
not
girl.
Stella for some reason. It's like with Stella would have been much more convincing, but
I think,
yeah, it turns out
like I
Rusty
said,
could be
maybe have
convincing too.
Rusty as in drag. It could happen. I mean, maybe he could pull off girl clothes.
You
Be
know,
the next
I'm sure
RuPaul. Be the next RuPaul.
I actually had a thought. Like, isn't it weird how like Rusty is the girl of the squad more so than the actual girl herself?
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. The other thing too is that he also, like I said, he also does other disguises. I mean, for example, what was it? He did dress up as Mrs. Johnson one time. Do you remember that one?
That's true. That's true. Um, yeah, it was in that forgettable episode, but yeah, I do remember. I think that's one thing I remember from all this is Rusty's disguise as Mrs. Johnson.
Mm. So, like I said, maybe this is a gig. This is a gig for Rusty to dress up in girl clothes. Who knows? This could be something of a future for him. All right. Anyways, let's move on. So after going through oh sorry yeah, after going through flips and getting assistance from Meryl, they would get more clues from stink bombs to a rental ticket from Rusty's dad's suit store, naming three people who rented tuxes for the dance: Chad, Dirk, and Jordan. So they would go to each of them to discuss the rented suits, where each of them would prove that they have rented their suits but did not commit the crime for reasons. Like Chad, for example, he doesn't like sticky stuff. That's the reason why he throws up a lot. Dirk, his suit got ruined. Jordan, he did not wear a suit. He was pretty much dressed up with a onesie with his friend. So this made him more and more suspicious. Like I guess Rusty is the guilty party here. Explain your thoughts when these guys were interrogating these suspects.
Yeah, pretty much what I do like is that when it comes down to the three, um, it's not, how do I put it? When it comes down to the three, it turns out it's not any of them. However, the three do look to be suspicious when you do see like the pink sheet of those that did rent the suits. So you would think it's one of the three. What I do like about it most of all is pretty much the build up to it, like the build up in which like they pretty much thought of something, they thought of some clues. It's like, okay, Rusty's dad owns a rent tuxedo place, and so that gives them the idea to pretty much go to the office and pretty much go through the records and try to find the those that did rent the suit. And it turns out to be like just the three. And when it turns out to not be any of them, that's when they almost decide to throw in the towel.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for Rusty because they tried their best, and even through all these people, they just ended up not getting any leeway. So like for in this scene, for example, Chad said that he doesn't like stinky stuff, and even if they tried to test with the stinky stuff, he still threw up, which is true. Unfortunately, that was one thing that apparently made him innocent. And then Dirk with the whole shredded suit, where he presented the suit all shredded up, you already know that he's also innocent as well. And also the fact that Jordan even like showed pictures that he was in the dance and they were actually like buddy. He was really buddy with a person also wearing the same onesie. I thought that was also was cute for one thing, but it also does prove his innocence. So it's like this whole entire scene with only for like what 2 or 3 minutes really does like portray. Oh no, maybe Rusty did do the crime. And then definitely at that one part here where like they were trying their best to prove like right innocence, like prove innocence towards Rusty. They looks like they were all gonna give up, and it's just obviously sucks. You
Yeah.
just see it from there. You can just see it from this scene right here, where they're kind of like disappointed, like Rusty, I think it's you, sorry, and then they're gonna suspend him for a week to say so. You can
Yeah,
totally
it
feel
looks
the
like
defeat was happening. Yeah.
the jig is up for our spokesperson right here.
hmm So yeah, Rusty looks like he's just innocent. Looks like he's going to be a guilty man, suspended for a week. So here's the thing: they still have to report the news. So the news team would give up, unable to clear Rusty's name. But it wasn't until their daily broadcast where Stella would point out something. It may have not been a boy Jordan that took the suit. Instead, there is a girl Jordan. She would try to clear her name, but after seeing a red wig and a white suit in her locker, she totally did do it, to everyone's shock, including the entire loud crowd. I would imagine everybody in the whole crowd who was watching this episode were shocked to hear Girl Jordan ended up actually, being the person who actually, what was it, framed Rusty. So what are your thoughts knowing that out of all people, Girl Jordan would be the culprit?
Yes, folks, it turns out that it was Girl Jordan. Girl Jordan who framed Rusty Spokes. Now, this had fans react negatively towards her. Well, at least a good portion of them anyway. And you would expect that I would be no different. But, to be honest, I never had a problem with what she did. In fact, I think that Girl Jordan's actions helped benefited her character in the story of the episode instead of hindering it. And here is why. Number one, this was a twist you don't see coming. From a writing perspective, this works very well as a mystery story because if you see the episode for the first time, you never would have guessed that it was her. If it was Chandler, then the culprit would have been too obvious, thus it would have weakened the mystery element of the episode. Number two, Girl Jordan was justified in doing what she did. She worked so hard to bake the cake for a good grade. And because of Rusty's dumb actions, she got an F. If someone ruined what I worked hard to make, let me tell you, I'd get mad too. I obviously wouldn't frame them, but I'd still be pissed. Number three, this twist helps give Girl Jordan a more prominent role in a Loud House episode. Throughout most of the show, we've seen her as mostly a background character. And because of that, we have, assumed, we've pictured Girl Jordan as this nice, perfect angel. But then it turns out she turns out to be more than that, which really does help flesh out her character. And honestly, I feel that she has potential to be something more than just a sweet little angel. And let me tell you, I'm really glad that the episode gave her that potential. Number four, she at least apologized, for God's sake. She apologized. It's not like she was trying to avoid consequences or anything. She was even willing to take any punishment if you've actually paid attention to the scene. I kind of doubt some of you have. So this proves that while Girl Jordan isn't perfect, let me tell you, she has integrity. 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 Number five, please refer to what I said in reasons 1 through 4. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, he pretty much set this whole piece up for Girl Jordan. Nonetheless, I mean, this whole entire scene just pretty much gives up so much about who Girl Jordan is because we just see her as a background character. She's just there. We had a chance to actually have Girl Jordan actually become like something prevalent when, say, for example, Past Your Bedtime. That was the one scene where I was thinking maybe we would have a chance to actually have more emphasis on Girl Jordan, but no, the crew continues to just put her on the side, put her as a background character and all this jazz.
Molly had more of a prominent role than Girl Jordan in that episode. Okay,
I know, exactly. So what happened is the fact that, like, I think what the crew did is that everyone, I think they were listening. It's like, yeah, Girl Jordan is a very popular character from the Loud crowd. Why don't you actually have like more screen time for Girl Jordan? And I've seen this too. Like as we pick up in season 5, Girl Jordan continues to have more prevalence. I mean, she won an award with her best friend, for example. So I mean, like that's saying something that maybe there's a sign that Girl Jordan may have some prevalence. And then this episode drops, and it's like, what the I didn't know Girl
Yes.
Jordan would be like this. What? Why would you why would you do something like this? I thought you were just a sweet, innocent girl that, was just a person in the background. But no, she turned out to be a person that could be evil if you just play her cards the wrong way. So what happened was like, yeah, Rusty did something stupid. Girl Jordan got an F. Girl Jordan wanted revenge, and she ended up doing all this things. It's crazy how she ended up like doing all the scheming too, because the whole planning progress was way too crazy. Like renting a suit, getting a wig, getting the voice right.
She had to study the voice down to her T. That is good character study right there.
And then even getting those stink bombs, and then like they definitely tried to look like Rusty Spokes, and then just continue, and then just absolutely bash on the whole entire party. So yeah, it's just something out of a twist. We never expect to see Girl Jordan like this. And FYI, if we ever get more episodes of The Loud House, please put her in here more. Because if you actually emphasized her a lot in this episode, then there's a possible chance that maybe Girl Jordan could pop up more. So please, hopefully season 6 actually gets more Girl Jordan.
Yes.
Because this was just amazing, just to see something out of a background character that never had much relevance, that we were begging, that the Loud Crowd was definitely begging for, needed to finally actually show up in something like this. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like this opens doors to future potential Girl Jordan appearances in.
And I really hope they do, because it just gives a lot of emphasis towards Girl Jordan through this episode. It's like, wow, don't mess with Girl Jordan, or she will definitely give revenge on you.
Yeah, don't get on her bad side ever.
So,
like, don't make her get a bad grade. Just like.
So would you agree with it? Would you agree with me, Omid, that this was the most we have seen from Girl Jordan throughout like the entirety of the Loud House?
Yes, it is, and that's why I love it. That's why I love it.
And I think a lot of fans who love Girl Jordan would probably love this episode, just the fact that, like, oh my God, she's so prevalent now.
Exactly. It makes you wonder why she didn't have a permanent role in the previous 4 seasons.
You know what? Talk to the Loud Crowd. They fucking ruined my like chance, because I really wanted her to actually become something big in, say, for example, Past Your Bedtime. That was a long time ago. To season 2. That was a season 2 episode. I don't want a Girl Jordan to actually have some sort of like relevance in the show. No. She's still a background character until now. Maybe season 6 she could probably be something good. Yeah, maybe she'd be something good in season 6. We'll see. So Girl Jordan would provide a reason why she did it, and it was mostly for revenge. Her whole plan was thoroughly detailed. The plan worked until she was caught. I mean, for overall, were you surprised that Girl Jordan definitely did pull this crime?
Who wasn't surprised, right? That's what I mean. Like.
Yeah, you're right. Because the thing is, like, Girl Jordan only appeared in the episode in the beginning. That was it. So it's like, then it just gives you like an intrigue of mystery, like who really did it. So say, for example, like, like the other guys, Paige, those other secondary characters that we never even talk about either. So it's like, why don't we actually have them be the innocent person? But no, it turned out to be a person that we all love, Girl Jordan, and look at her becoming that. So yeah, it definitely shocked me when I first heard that Girl Jordan definitely did the crime. I'm like, whoa, didn't expect to see her actually become a bad person. But yeah, it was shocking. It was definitely shocking for us. So in the end, both would forgive each other, and no one would be suspended. Only if Rusty would be the substitute teacher for a while. How'd you like this whole ending?
I did feel like Girl Jordan got off a bit too easy. I honestly would have just given her just like a 1-day detention, and that was pretty much it. Girl Jordan did apologize. She did fess up, but then I felt like because when you think about it, like, she was the reason why Rusty got suspended in the first place. Why Rusty had to hide from everyone. Why Rusty had to put on a disguise. So I feel like Girl Jordan at most should have gotten like detention. Like there should have been like some sort of punishment for her, even after she apologized.
You know what though? I mean, maybe just because she was sweet and innocent is the reason why that they forgave her. And the other thing too is that Rusty even said, "Can you not suspend her?" So, out of all of the apologies that they ended up getting, Principal Ramirez ended up becoming the nice principal. He ain't no Principal Huggins. So
yeah, imagine if this episode took place during elementary school and it was under like Principal Huggins as well. Like, imagine this took place during elementary school. Girl Jordan would have been screwed.
If anything, this makes me like Principal Ramirez more. Even though we don't even see her a lot. We need more of her, possibly.
Let me tell you, if Principal Huggins was in charge, like I said, Girls Jordan would have been screwed big time.
Yeah, I mean, probably Girl Jordan would have been suspended and maybe more than that. But
Yeah.
thankfully, actually, the fact that like Meryl and Principal Ramirez ended up becoming like really nice staff for the junior high made sense for it made sense for them to just become like let go like that. Um, but yeah, Girl Jordan's innocent. Girl Jordan was guilty, but she turned out to not prove any punishment. Rusty turned out to be forgiving towards Girl Jordan. I don't really hope they don't ship them. I kind of feel
Oh
like Girl
God,
Jordan and
no,
Girl Jordan and Rusty are like, that's not a ship. Hopefully not.
no, no. I don't think so. No, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
fine. We're not gonna rile up the shippers again. um, anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Yes. I actually find it really iconic. What I found iconic about this episode is that it was actually Stella who managed to put the pieces together and point to Girl Jordan as a culprit. It was Stella herself mainly that busted Girl Jordan. That was pretty awesome. How it was Stella that was mainly the one to do it. It was pretty. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would agree too. I don't know what, but it feels like Stella continues to solve problems. Have you realized that? Like it always goes down to Stella.
Yeah, I mean,
But she is
like
the smart person. She's the greatest. That's why everyone should love her.
the thing is though is that the thing is though is that while it was pretty awesome that Stella did buzz Girl Jordan, the downside is though we won't be seeing Jordella anytime soon
Oh
because of
my
it because
god.
Stella was the one that did buzz Girl Jordan. I'm just like,
uh,
dang it, that means no Jordella anytime soon. I want me some Jordella. Come on.
can we at least have Girl Jordan with her best friend? I forgot her best friend's name, but can we at least have that? I mean, it was proven that they were best friends forever, but I guessing Stella's gonna stick with the squad now.
Girl
It'd be
Jordan.
cool. I mean, it'd be cool if we actually have that like hangout that episode that I want where we get to see Girl Jordan and then Stella like hang out together, have a girls' night out or something.
Then they
Sleepover.
become
Wouldn't that be great?
girlfriends. Then they become
Oh
girlfriends.
my god.
Let's go. Girl Jordan is the one for Stella. Not Lincoln,
No,
but
Lincoln.
Girl
Oh
Jordan.
my god.
No, no, no.
Don't break my ship
Well,
up. Don't break my ship up.
no, no, no. See, Lincoln can have a girl. Okay, her name is Ronnie Ann.
Oh
But
my god.
in terms of Girl Jordan, no. Girl Jordan is the one for Stella.
Oh my god. We don't know because remember Stella pretty much like was the person who actually like got what was it? Tattletale pretty much when it comes to Girl Jordan's little scheme.
Yeah, Stella may
uh,
have Lola Girl Jordan, but then again, I think that Girl Jordan did fess up and apologize, and then all's well that ends well. So I don't know. I think that at that point, like Girl Jordan, I think by this point, Girl Jordan should still be cool with Stella.
Girl Jordan should at least still have like more prevalent episodes, maybe to hang out with Lincoln Squad or to have her own episode, for example. I mean, we've had Stella episodes, we had what was it? We had Rusty episodes, we have Liam and Zach episodes. So why not have like somebody out of like anybody in junior high? I mean, we had a Chandler episode for one, for God's sake. Why
No,
not have Girl
no,
Jordan?
we don't want a Chandler episode. No,
I mean, you
I mean,
did broadcast
I mean,
blues.
yeah, but it was mainly Lincoln and the Squad featuring Chandler.
Well, still, Chandler did have like some character development in that episode, by the way.
Yeah, but not
um.
good one.
Anyways, how would you rate this episode?
I would rate this episode a 9 out of 10. It was a pretty stellar mystery episode. It does surpass Kernel of Truth, especially with the twist itself, with Girl Jordan doing the deed, and how like the twist itself really enhanced the episode because of how it worked as both a mystery story as well as how it worked as developing Girl Jordan's character, finally putting her on a spotlight. So, and also Rusty being a drag queen was
Mm-hmm.
pretty funny to watch. So, yeah, I would say that, yeah, Frame on You was definitely it's definitely one of the better, Action 5 News episodes for sure.
If this one episode was actually in for the running of best episode of 2021, then I would have actually picked it. But
Really?
it definitely was a good episode. Nobody expected. I mean, I didn't expect the twist. This mysterious episode definitely does have its mysterious elements, trying to figure out who definitely framed Rusty, and then out of the bloom, you never expect to see a sweet innocent girl like Girl Jordan end up actually becoming the person that ended up being the guilty party. So definitely the twist got me, and more emphasis on Girl Jordan, which by the way I believe the fans are now absolutely excited for. Hopefully we get to see more Girl Jordan in season
Let's
6.
go.
And yeah, it was definitely a really awesome episode. I give it a 9.5. The 0.5 is just because, yeah, one thing is that, yeah, Girl Jordan got off easy to me, and I was like, why don't you just get detention? You ended up still getting Rusty
Exactly.
punishment. You still end up getting Rusty punished. Exactly. I don't understand
That's what I
that
mean.
twist.
It's like at least 1 day detention, you know, like
Yeah, at least some sort of thing, maybe like community service or like helping out with teachers or something, you know.
Exactly.
But Girl Jordan definitely got the short end of the stick, and Rusty still ended up being punished by but by becoming a substitute teacher. So I'm like, okay, there's still, I don't know, the whole punishment was interesting, but like I said, the episode was definitely exciting throughout the whole entire thing. Yeah, Girl Jordan, definitely don't mess with her.
Go Jordan, be still his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. All right, let's head over to our next episode that aired last weekend actually. This aired around March 3rd. So sorry, March 4th. So let's actually talk about the episode Runaway McBride. According to this synopsis, Howard and Harold tear their home apart after Clyde starts spending more time with his friends than at home. So first off, it's a McBride dad story. We have never seen that quite a while. I mean, you may recall the last time we actually seen the dads actually have an episode. That would be Snow Way Down. That was season 2. So yeah, 3 seasons later, they finally have an episode. I miss the dads, by the way. I miss Harold and Howard. They never had the screen time that much. So this time around, this is good for them to find. This is good for us to finally see like how they live with Clyde to say. Homie, how did you like the fact that we're having yet another secondary characters episode with Clyde's dads?
Yeah, now we're here to talk about Runaway McBride.
Oh, wait! Don't refer that episode.
Okay,
no.
Why
would you do that, Omid? Why would you do that?
I'm seeing the subscriber. I'm seeing all the followers. You know,
my subscriber count got to go down because of you.
Yeah. Guilty as charged.
We actually get a new host.
Anyway, so yes, this is a McBride dad story. Of course, Clyde's dads are coming back. I just gotta say, I really love Clyde's dads. They are such endearing characters and such loving fathers to Clyde McBride. It's helped by the fact that they are groundbreaking characters too, especially when they have made history in their appearances in Overnight Success. So yes, honestly, seeing a Howard and Harold McBride episode, like, it brought me glee, it brought me joy.
You know, I never expect to see the dads. I miss them so much. Never seen them have an episode. So it's just great to see them again and see how they live with Clyde. It's something that you never expect to see in so long. So, you know, I came in this episode and said, like, awesome. I can finally see Howard and Harold and see what they do. And I know that Clyde is their son. So how are they going to deal with the fact that Clyde continues to go off every time in junior high? I mean, to be fair, we all were like that. Like ever since junior high to high school, we pretty much like go away from home. You know, if it wasn't COVID times to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand like the dad's concerns. Clyde continues to go off with his friends, and obviously Harold are missing their son. All right, so now let's head back to the episode where we get to see Clyde's parents worry about him since he's been out a lot. This led Howard and Harold to suggest things in order for the kids to stay home. So do you feel for Clyde's dads when their son continues to go out instead of having some quality time at home staying in?
I really do, because it feels like to them, it feels like Clyde is sort of losing touch with his beloved dads. And you do see how, you know, disheartening that is to Howard and Harold. Like they are, you know, heartbroken by this in a sense. And you really do feel for them because, and especially if you're a parent yourself and you watch your child, you know, pretty much spend more time with their friends instead of you. Like, let me tell you, you do relate to Clyde's dads. I think like any parent can definitely appreciate this episode because it touches upon that subject.
Yeah, I feel for the parents, and I understand like sometimes you're a parent, and the thing is that look, they're growing up. They need to get away from the home eventually. I mean, they can't just be at home for their whole lives to say. So obviously, Clyde continues to hang out with his friends, and of course, the dads kind of get a little bit testy. The fact that like, oh, maybe our son is just running away. um, so yeah, I could totally understand like maybe Clyde doesn't care about his dads, and that's the reason why Howard and Harold get so worried about him. So I could totally see why they ended up trying to do all the stuff that's happening in this episode to say. Because they were obsessed with this, Howard and Harold would do their research to see what Clyde is into, from video games and the food at Gus's to drinking flippies and flips. It is here where they would get his favorite things in these places, and thus made Clyde and his squad stay home. So how'd you like this idea what the dads are doing?
Um, I do feel that while I understand how the McBride dads feel, the lengths sometimes the lengths they go on about it can be a bit much. And of course, one of them is pretty much spying on, well, actually not really spying on, but more like studying by pretty much playing the arcades and Gus's games of Grub. But then like his friends eventually come and then they
Mhm.
do the best to hide from them. Like I feel like yeah, they I could see why they would get in deep in this, but I feel that at times they get too deep into it. Like guys, you gotta let your kid go. I understand what you're feeling, but still, he's growing up. But like it's kind of engaging. It's pretty engaging to see Howard and Harold in their little misadventures as well, because it's the first time we've seen this happen. Where it's the first time we've seen Howard and Harold in some sort of like misadventure in a sense. And of course, they go from Gus's Games of Grud to Flips, and Flip surprisingly lets them rent their flipping machine for some
But then
reason. Like,
because then it's for the money, obviously, it's a reason why Flip would do that.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised that because Flippies are the staple food, the staple drink of Flip's Food and Fuel. So I'm kind of surprised that Flip would even let them like rent it even.
Yeah. It's quite an interesting little getup that the dads were doing. I mean, it's weird because like they were spying on Clyde pretty much most of the time. Yeah, they go to his favorite spots, Gus's Games and Grub, and end up getting pizza and the video games that he loves. They end up going to Flips because he loves Flippy, so they end up getting a Flippy machine. And nonetheless, I mean, like I know what they're trying to do. They want to at least get his favorite things and make him stay at home, which happened. So this plan continues to work out, and let it be. I mean, I guess this is what the dads want to do. They just want to make sure Clyde is safe, and that's the reason why they want him to stay at home and also bring his friends along too, which worked out the first time around. So yeah, they want to try to make it just like the environment that Clyde likes. And besides that, there are other environments that Clyde also loves to do. Say, for example, like go to a skating rink or watch a building get destroyed. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh dear
um,
lord.
because they were obsessed with this, Howard and Harold. Oh, sorry. In fact, the idea that happened with the McBride dads got so worked out so well that they continue to do this every day. I mean, the squad would end up watching a horror movie at their backyard because Clyde wanted to watch a horror movie at the theater. They went to the backyard instead just to stay home. I think the most craziest thing that happened though was the fact that sorry, they did have a skating rink inside the living room for some reason because Clyde wanted to go skating. The craziest thing that happened though was the fact that he wanted to go to a water park, and they instead made their house a water park. Literally drowned the whole damn backyard.
Yeah, it's like
So
they turned McBride's house into raging
so
waters.
explain your thoughts. So explain your thoughts on like what the McBride dads are doing to their household to say.
Yeah, honestly, like I said before, like I do find it very inventive that the McBrides pretty much use everything that Clyde loves. Um, Pretty much, I find inventive how they use everything that Clyde loves to try to build it in the backyard. Pretty much make it a fun house for Clyde and his friends, though it was for their reasons and for their purposes. I feel like what they're doing is like they're sort of like their intentions are very similar to Snow Way Down in that they are pretty much doing whatever they can to pretty much shelter Clyde in a sense. And I'm thinking to myself, while it's done under good intentions, it can be a bit unhealthy to be overprotective of your child. And I thought you would learn from this in Snow Way Down, but I guess not.
I
But
I was gonna put up that point there. By the way, I'm like, what the heck? I thought from Snow Way Down, I thought you guys would be, less overprotective with Clyde, but it happened again in this episode. So I'm guessing that whole lesson from season two that they learned never happened.
Snow
They
Way
still
it's Snow Way Down 2.0.
Snow Way Down 2.0, but in a crazier sense. Don't you agree?
Yeah, a more exaggerated, but yet somehow more creative, more
hmm
inventive.
I mean, it is creative. The fact that like they did all these things, like for example, the skating rink was one thing. To actually let them skate around the living room, minus the fact that they could like break a vase. But the craziest thing, the fact is that they ended up like actually having a water park literally in their backyard. Like, how the heck would they actually make a pool in the backyard by literally like filling up the entire backyard? That's weird. I was like, how? Isn't there like grass there that could drain the whole entire thing? I don't know how you're able to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know either. Like,
Still, it just tells you that the dads are still being overprotective with Clyde, which kind of feels like you're not helping Clyde out. You gotta let your son go free sometimes, okay? You can't just be overprotective, daddies.
exactly.
So here the tipping point is where Clyde wanted to watch a building be demolished with his friends, which led to the dads actually thinking about destroying their own house. This made Clyde reason with his dads and that he'll be always be with them in their activities since his dads feel distant without him hanging around the house that often. This led to a peaceful resolution. Even if the side of the house did get partially destroyed. Thanks, Flip. Explain your thoughts on this ending, like the whole entire ending of this episode.
Okay, look, McBride's okay. Like, this is at a point where it's just like, okay, this is kind of crazy. Like, you're willing to pretty much destroy um you're pretty much willing to destroy half of your household, like demolish your household just to spend time with Clyde. Okay, that is like borderline psychotic right there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, yeah, you're better than this. Come on. But then I do, granted, I do respect how Clyde's parents at least, you know, confessed to Clyde that they felt that Clyde's been distant from them ever since he's been hanging out with his friends a lot, and Clyde in turn says that um, you know like he loves spending time with them as well. They're pretty much the best dads to him. Oh god, I love how even Rusty tears up at this. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Like Rusty tears up. That
Yeah.
that tells you something. That
I,
tells you
I felt like they were in this vibe. I felt like the dads were in this vibe where they were like, okay, we're making this work. I know Clyde loves this kind of stuff. We're gonna make it work. And then when it comes to the point where Clyde wanted to watch them destroy a building, I don't know what the hell they were doing. I thought they would actually destroy like a building, but not their house. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? Do you not realize that you're about to destroy your old house and you can't even live in a house anymore? I love the fact that like Clyde would be the
exactly
voice of reason towards
like they're
Howard and
they're willing to
Harold.
be homeless for Clyde. They're willing
Yeah,
to be homeless for Clyde.
it's weird. It was
Are
weird.
you
I
kidding?
don't understand what the hell the dads were doing. It was so interesting.
Like like I know they're desperate, but come on, they gotta have more, you know, integrity. They gotta have some better standards than that.
Exactly. But nonetheless, I was just okay. The McBride death got a little bit too crazy. I love the fact that Clyde was the voice of reason, even if they did get their house partially destroyed to Flip. Out of all people, you would actually have Flip destroy your house. Why? And I thought we were done with Flip. but he is still continuing to appear in episodes of The Loud House. Why? Why?
Oh dear lord.
But nonetheless, it turned out to be a pretty good episode. Omid, anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Uh, Nothing much I want to bring up, honestly. Let's move on to the rating.
All right. So, how would you rate this episode?
6.5 out of 10. I feel that it was a pretty meh episode, like pretty mixed bag in my opinion. I love seeing Howard and Harold McBride. Like they are endearing characters, and because they are endearing characters, the lengths that they would go to do feel a bit out of place from them. Like, sure, they could be overprotective of Clyde. They're loving towards Clyde. They have good intentions, but there are some moments, even going as far as to destroy their own house. Where I'm just like, okay, guys, I know that you love Clyde, but come on. Even you got to have some better standards than that. Come on, like you're better than this. Come on, you're better. You're better than this. I do love seeing Clyde and his friends having fun in the McBride's house. That was pretty awesome. Like I said, you do feel for Howard and Harold's dilemma in this because any parent would feel like that when their child hangs out with their friends more than you. So I do get that. But even so, like there are some times where like they can go a bit too far, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing I also do want to point out how everybody reacted when Stella was in a swimsuit. I know I'm one of them too. But yeah, she's adorable in a swimsuit. But by the way, guys, stop your hormones. Besides that, I would say yes. I'm so glad to actually see the McBride's dads actually have their own episode again. We have not seen that in so long, but I feel like there could have been a better way of actually doing this episode better. I mean, like, yeah, you miss your sons, but then again, you're missing the point of what you've learned from Snow Way Down. It just felt kind of off to me. But yeah, for me, I give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a okay episode. Well, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really much to say. All right, let's go to the last episode of this this block here as we complete season 5. It's called High Crimes. The synopsis here says Sunset Canyon is falling apart, and Lincoln and Clyde are determined to find out why. David Steele style. Now, right off the bat, when I said David Steele, it's another Clink and McCloud episode, but this time with a twist. Instead of the usual Ace Savvy things that they always do, it's now this David Steele mode for them. Something referenced back in Family Bonding. Remember, they were into David Steele, and they're doing it again in this episode with David Steele style. How did you like this new direction of Clink and McCloud?
I thought this was a very creative direction to take with the Clink and McCloud mystery episode. Like, yeah, they are still solving a crime, like as a duo, but this time instead of being dressed as superheroes, they're actually now spy agents. And speaking of spy agents, David Steele is back, baby. David Steele.
I have a feeling since they're growing up, are they getting out of the Ace Savvy thing? Huh. Did you make you think about that?
Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think they're getting out of the Ace Savvy phase.
I mean, here's the thing. Season 5, we never heard of. I mean, season 5, we don't really hear about Ace Savvy, don't you think? Like, we never really had any reference to Ace Savvy anymore. So, are they growing up, getting out of that Ace Savvy phase? Remember, we talked about that in what was it, Deal Me Out?
I don't think they're getting out of
Are they growing out of their Ace Savvy phase? Is that something going on?
I don't think they're growing out of it. So much so as they're getting into more stuff other than Ace Savvy. Like they're trying new things other than Ace Savvy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's happening here. Like they're not letting go of Ace Savvy altogether. Ace Savvy is still part of them. It's still part of their friendship. But it's just that they're expanding upon their taste. They're expanding their interests.
Yeah, I just feel like they're not putting much more on Ace Savvy. Like I don't know if you've heard of them in season 5. Like there's nothing Ace Savvy, don't you think? Like recall back in season 5, there really wasn't much Ace Savvy. It just tells me like, okay, let them like something else, like spy movies, for example. That's the reason why we have David Steele now. It feels like it's about to change. Like if season 6 is about to start, and I see more David Steele stuff. I mean, heck, the birthday episode that we're supposed to watch soon. But that was going to be a David
Yes.
Steele. That was supposed to be a David Steele episode. So we're really trending on the
There
fact that
was
David
that.
Steele is probably going to be.
If only we'd gotten this episode this week, but what the heck,
No,
Nickelodeon?
no. Here's my prediction on that. By the way, just a quick tidbit here. If we're going to talk about Lincoln's birthday, it has to be during the month when the Loud House first premiered, May. So I have a feeling it's going to premiere in May.
It better be in May. Not any time later than May.
But anyways, yeah. If I said, I'm just putting a prediction right here. Ace Savvy, it looks like they're going to be fading. It's going to be fading away soon. So if it does, and David Steele starts to become the new big thing for Lincoln and Clyde, then I'm putting my point there. You better give me some money if it's true.
We'll see what happens. But then I think that if they really did let go of Ace Savvy altogether, it would sort of diminish the message of Deal Me Out, which is that you can still love Ace Savvy. You can still love the things you love. No matter what age.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me there, but who knows? I'm not seeing Ace Savvy in season 5, so it just tells me maybe Lincoln's into another thing.
Yeah, he's into other things other than Ace Savvy. It's not that he's getting rid of Ace Savvy for something else. He's still into both Ace Savvy and David Steele.
All right. Anyways, well, let's see. Hopefully, season 6 we actually get an Ace Savvy like episode. Maybe there's a reason why we don't like Ace Savvy just because of our reaction towards that one episode.
Yeah, that one episode.
Kings of the Con. Y'all hated Kings of the Con. There's your reaction. There's a reason why now.
I thought Kings of the Con was okay. I thought it was okay.
But everybody else hated it. So then maybe that's why the Loud Crew was like, okay, fine, no more Ace Savvy.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. I just found it okay.
Anyways, let's move on to the episode now. We get to see them in Sunset Canyon, and it starts to look like a dump with all the broken things around the building that makes it unlivable for all residents. Lincoln and Clyde would suspect someone's behind this, and they would go David Steele style to investigate. They would get some cool tech from Lisa, and the investigation is on. Explain your thoughts on the first scenes of this episode.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just Lisa once again being the GOAT of season 5. Like, really, is there anything this girl can't do this season? Anyway, I do like how Lincoln and Clyde have their gadgets. And not only that, they use their gadgets very well. They pretty much use their gadgets like very well to solve this mystery. And in David Steele's style, I might add. So yeah, good on Lisa for playing an important role in this episode. And good on Lisa for helping out Lincoln and Clyde. Good on Lisa for like pretty much being one of season 5's highlights.
The thing is that is Lisa trying to be like how I don't know, like the person who leads a spy group.
M. Lisa
like,
is Lisa
M,
trying to be like M? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like instead of being called M, like I would imagine Lisa Loud would be L.
L for Loud. I was thinking of like Jerry from Whoop. If you watch Totally Spies, so something like that. It felt like it just because like the leader who learned all this awesome high tech stuff. It just reminds me of Totally Spies for some damn reason. Oh yeah, Lincoln and Clyde, all of them in their spy outfits, and then you get all these weapons from your agency. Definitely what happened in Whoop from Totally Spies. But yeah, it was cool to see that. Yes, I understand like Sunset Canyon. I mean, the fact that everybody lived in Sunset Canyon. You had what was it? You had what was Clyde's Nana Gale? There you go.
Nana Gale.
You had Nana Gale live there after a couple of months. I mean, continuation from what was it? Resident Upheaval. You also have I forgot Lincoln's Myrtle. There you go. See, I'm getting twisted with the names here. You had Myrtle also move in too. So literally, right after Resident Upheaval, you end up with them just not living there anymore. So obviously, they don't like that. So obviously, Lincoln and Clyde need to chart out to figure out and investigate something. But I thought that was actually pretty cool the way that it got started. The fact that Lisa started to give them all this high tech stuff and the situation that was already placed in front of them.
Season 5 Lisa is best Lisa.
I think so. I'm guessing they're listening to us saying like Lisa stinks in the last couple seasons. Now Lisa's actually having some significant episodes.
Yeah.
So the boys would be in disguise as residents of Sunset Canyon, and they would already find a suspect who would be Nana Gale out of all people. Oh, Nana Gale. But luckily she was also in disguise so that she can find the suspect as well. Has she seen David Steele too? um,
Probably.
they would work together to find the suspect. How would you like this team up of Lincoln and Clyde with Nana Gale?
Actually, I would imagine this like Nana Gale has seen the Sean Connery David Steele movies, whereas Lincoln has only seen the Daniel Craig Daniel's David Steele movies. So I guess that's how it goes, right?
Mhm.
If you all know what I mean, like you all know what I mean. Anyway, so pretty much I like how Nana Gale pretty much played a significant role in this episode where um like it turns out that she's doing what she can to help um the Sunset Canyon, which is where she lives in. She's doing what she can to help her fellow residents. Pretty much she's helping Sunset Canyon build itself. And the only way that Sunset Canyon can rebuild is if the suspect that is trying to take it down gets caught. And so, like, Nana Gill really loves Canyon, and most of all, she loves her residents, especially Myrtle. So she doesn't want to let Sunset Canyon go. So, of course, she wants in on the action.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of felt like this is kind of pretty cool. The fact that like out of all people, Nana Gale would actually be a part of this investigation squad. So it's always pretty much a Lincoln McLeod thing. But then you actually have somebody who actually turned out to be very credible, like Nana Gale, for example. So I didn't expect Nana Gale to be such a cool, badass person that can actually help out this squad. So it's awesome to actually see Nana Gale be like a person that could be really awesome, and also be a helpful person to the main characters here.
Definitely.
So they would narrow down the suspects to those that visited Sunset Canyon, to which there was only 3 people that visited: Flip, Gus, and Vic. So they would visit these places of work to be distracted, but without any leads. After going through these suspects, after going through all of the suspects, did you have a person of interest when when they were trying to figure out who the person was?
Gee, I wonder who could be. Oh yeah, it's the clown that has fallen from grace ever since Mayor Davis fired him. I think you all can guess who it is.
Right. But here's the thing, like everybody did kind of feel like they were a suspect. I mean, maybe Gus was the innocent one because yeah, it's Gus. And I love the fact that like Lincoln and Clyde, like first 10 minutes they played video games and started eating something at Gus's Games and Grub, leaving Nana Gale outside. I'm like, oh, poor Nana Gale.
Oh my god.
Oh
It's
god, we were
Gus's Games of
distracted.
Grub.
Oh god, we were distracted. Sorry, Nana Gale. They went back inside, got 10 minutes, did 10 minutes of like investigating, and then nothing happened. So it's like,
I'm
oh
like,
well,
guys, you gotta focus. You're on a mission.
exactly. Oh, I don't know. I just felt like they were just very distracted, nonetheless. And of course, we're also thinking Flip would be the person too, because we're all thinking Flip, out of all people, would be the one person to be something who could do a crime like that.
Yeah,
So
it's not gonna be if it was Flip, it honestly wouldn't surprise me in the least bit because well, it's Flip.
yeah, and of course you got Vic too, which we never heard of since election, and yeah, I mean, like he would be a highly suspect person, but at the same time, he's or like when you first saw that episode, when you first saw that part where he was just pretty much clowning around, literally clowning around. Um, he would do clown stuff, which I'm guessing, okay, maybe you are innocent and you were wearing roller skates the whole entire time. So
Oh my god.
yeah,
How the mighty have fallen. Like I said, this is a guy who used to work for Mayor Davis. Now he's being reduced to making balloon animals in a
I
clown
mean,
outfit.
Lenny took over as the campaign manager now.
So
So
I kind of had a feeling that like maybe it was Vic solely by the fact that he wants to get back at he wants to get back at his angry customers like Scoots,
mhm.
who's been making his life hell.
Maybe. Good question. Good point there. All right. So with their leads cleared, it seems they have blown their chance to save Sunset Canyon. But knowing Click and McLeod, they would never give up. But after their latest lead with of a broken water heater, both of them would lead them to a basement where they would find the basement full of helium, which led them to their culprit Vic. Explain your thoughts on how they find their suspect, and did you know it was Vic all along?
Honestly, I saw it come from a mile away. Honestly,
Really?
I thought that out of the three, it would turn out to be like Vic would be the most likely, because he was an antagonist in Election. Now, in this, now we see him as an antagonist once again, which makes you think, okay, like Vic is a recurring villain this time around. I kind of wonder, like, in future episodes, like, is he still going to play the part of the villain again? We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like Vic, Vic pretty much set up everything. He pretty much strategically take it down Sunset Canyon. Yeah, it turns out that Joker's not the only evil clown that we know in media. Pennywise is not the only evil clown we know in media. It turns out that Vic is the one too to pretty much complete the trinity of evil clowns.
As a person always says, it was Vic all along. Yeah, I kind of saw that from a mile away too. The thing is that maybe it could have been flipped too. I mean, Gus was definitely the most innocent one, but you would think in the back of your mind, you're thinking maybe Flip would be the one that could cause a disaster. It could be probably like one of the residents at Sunset Canyon that may have done that too, or even that one receptionist lady. I'm sorry, but she could be also suspect too.
Like
But
pretty much
no, no.
everyone in Sunset Canyon says like Sunset Canyon is like going through an
Oh,
Among Us ship. Everyone
yeah,
is a
it
suspect.
feels like that kind of mystery there. But then, yeah, I mean, it's true. We kind of saw that Vic was the one person. Like out of all the people, we never seen Vic in so long. It kind of feels like Vic is going to be the next. What I say, Chip Whistler. Maybe
Yeah,
the next Chip Whistler because he's that one person who would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just here on the side, but I do want to take down the Louds." I mean, you did pretty much. I mean, the Louds did pretty much take him out of a job, so it kind of feels like Chip Whistler way.
yep. Hey, kick Vic. Am I right? Hashtag kick Vic.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I did like the process of where like I saw Clyde and Lincoln, they say they never gave up, so they would go and find the helium. I love the scene by the way where they're like in that helium room and then they're all high pitched voices. I was like, yeah, this room is full of helium.
Oh my
Obviously,
god,
you guys are gonna be all high pitched. And I'm like, oh my god, this sounds so great.
they sound like chipmunks.
It's not like chipmunks, right? It's like good.
Lincoln and the
Um,
chipmunks. Lincoln
and,
and the
and I also
chipmunks.
do love the fact that like when they left that room, they ended up having their own regular voices. So it's kind of like, yeah, change of environment. You actually did that well. Good job, loud crowd. I mean, loud crew. Um, yeah, so Lincoln and Clyde were able to capture Vic as he tried to escape the scene of the crime, which led Vic's punishment repairing Sunset Canyon, and the spies were rewarded with chamomile. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the ending here?
Chamomile. That's quite a reward. Am I right?
Oh yeah, go to sleep. Yeah, go to sleep immediately.
Yeah, they deserve a good rest. Like they deserve to rest after solving this big crime, after defeating the evil clown. Like they deserve a good rest. Come on. Also, in terms of the ending, like I said, it was really rewarding. Especially towards Lincoln and Clyde, and yeah, I was happy for them that they caught the suspect. So yeah, pretty much all's well and ends well. And good night, Lincoln and Clyde. Good night.
Yeah, I don't know about chamomile, but I'm guessing like we should probably watch out for chamomile now. They apparently knock you out. I mean, they did knock out the receptionist quite badly. um, so yeah, I got nothing else to say. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Hashtag kick Vic. All I'm
Oh
gonna
God.
say.
Hashtag kick Vic. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing else to say from this episode. It's kind of weird of how they ended this episode, but now that we're done with all the season 5 episodes, we're ready for season 6, which is going to be next week. Well, how would you rate this episode before we talk about our season 6 preview?
I would rate this an 8.5 out of 10. It was a pretty engaging David Steele episode with Lincoln playing as the spy agent, and of course, while the suspect was pretty obvious, I still found the adventure to be quite engaging. Nana Gale, of course, was badass awesome in this. I want seriously after this, I want more Nana Gale. Nana
Yes.
Gale can really
Can we at least have more Nana Gale?
badass Nana Gale, please. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes, and yes.
overall,
I know that she was a part of. She was a part of the Loud House movie. Yeah, she was only there for like 1 second.
and that's overall, we want more David Steele. We could have gotten more David Steele much sooner had Nickelodeon not screwed up with the schedule.
Right, exactly. I thought it was an okay episode. Yeah, awesome stuff with getting Nana Gale. Another Click in McCloud episode, which I thought was also like a little bit more exciting. Nonetheless, I like I said, it didn't feel like the same old mystery like we saw back in like say for example, Frame on You. That was a more better mystery compared to like this. I thought this was
Much
already good.
better.
Yeah,
Much better. Because for
this
one
was
thing,
definitely
it all went down to the suspect. With the suspect, the mystery in Frame on You was handled much more effectively there than in High Crimes because the suspect was much less obvious in Frame on You than
mhm.
in like the actual culprit was much less
Yeah,
obvious.
it just felt like we kind of knew it all along, and I was like, okay, yeah, good, great on you, Vic. I guess you would still become a villain in this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of. I mean, like it was okay of an episode, not really the best. I give it a 6 out of 10. Really not that exciting for me. All right, we do have some time for us to actually talk about the new episodes that came out. The new episodes are going to come out this was it this Friday, tomorrow, in fact. It's Double Trouble and Don't You Escargot. What can you explain? I mean, which episode excites you more? And you want to explain like your feelings towards these two new episodes coming out soon.
Don't Ask Cargo, I feel is going to be a Lincoln Squad version of Runaway McBride. In
Oh man.
but except Runaway McBride, like that episode focuses on Howard and Harold, trying to hold on to Clyde, never letting go. Don't you S the S Cargo episode has Lincoln and his friends taking the place of Howard and Harold McBride, which kind of concerns me a bit. I'm actually more excited for the twin episode in which Lana and Lola face off against Meryl and Cheryl because, as I've said numerous times, I'm a huge fan of both Lana and Lola, both as a sibling pair and also as individual characters themselves. So honestly, I want to see what they could do when they face off against another pair of twins.
Yeah, so I mean like in the Don't Escort Go episode, I would imagine that the Friends squad definitely don't want to see Clyde leave for France. And it turns out Clyde will probably miss his friends and then they'll probably all meet up together at the end. So it's like, okay, so it's kind of like one of those episodes where I saw that coming. um so yeah, not really excited about that. It's just interesting to see actually a twin versus twin thing happening in Double Trouble. They want to try to get a gig at Auntie Pam's parlor, which we never heard of since what is it, Sister Act? Um, Actually, no, not Sister. What is this? No, Sister Act. Because
It was
I knew
Sister Act, yeah.
any given Sunday was also said as well. Um, and you never expect to see Cheryl and Meryl have an episode. Like, oh, it never, Cheryl and Meryl, we get to see them obviously as twin sisters. They always have their parts in certain episodes, but this time they're actually going to be of a big importance. I guess Lola and Lana. Yeah, twins versus twins. I want to see how this all goes down. This feels like a more exciting episode. So yeah, Double Trouble definitely looks to be the more exciting episode. Hopefully, Don't Escargot ends up being good. Nonetheless, season 2 is about to start off with something pretty epic. Season 6 is about to start off with something pretty epic. So yeah, can't wait to
Definitely.
see what season 6 will provide us. All right, and that's pretty much it for our Loud Casa Talks mini episode as we review the final episodes of season 5. Just remember you can listen to our Loud Casa Talks podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and much more. Also, if you like our stream, subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when we'll be coming on YouTube next. And we will let you know that we'll be coming back next Sunday to talk about the importance of secondary characters. In this episode of the Loud Casa Talks, we take a break from the characters that have helped made the Loud House and the Casa Grandes, and talk about the secondary characters that not only supported the main cast but have become lovable characters that we all love to talk about, especially with the fandom. So we'll go through all the notable ones from Lincoln Squad, Ronnie Ann Squad, and a whole lot more. So yeah, don't miss out on it. Yeah, of course, Sam. Don't miss out on this whole discussion as we talk about the secondary characters of the Loud House and the Casa Grandes.
Like I said, don't forget to don't forget to catch when we talk about Lincoln's friends, Ronnie Ann's friends, and of course me gushing 2 hours about Sam
Oh
Sharp
my
and how
god.
awesome of a girlfriend that she is to Luna.
Don't forget that she's also helpful towards the Louds. I mean, she did help Lana with her animal problem.
Exactly. I love how she's more than just Luna Loud's girlfriend. She actually stands out as her own character.
So yeah, so don't miss out on Sunday's new episode. We're going to talk about the importance of these secondary characters. All right, and that's pretty much it for us here. Thank you very much for checking out our episode review, Loud Casa Talks. My name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for watching. And of course, thank you all so much for listening to what we had to say about these 4 episodes. And until next time, smell you later, loud crowd.